Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Go Live Challenge. We're here. It is day one. I'm so excited. I hope you are too. All right, I have a question for you right out of the gate. And that is, when you watch videos, do you prefer live or pre-recorded? That's all I want you to put in the comments. If you're going to watch a video, do you want it to be live or do you want it to be pre-recorded? So type the word live or type the word recorded in the comments. I'm just wanting to do a little bit of a pulse check so that we can see some real life data. All right. So question for you. Have you ever heard this quote? And it's I've heard it a number of times, and I didn't realize that it was actually Shakespeare that originally said it. But this whole idea that the eyes are the window to our souls. Now, what the heck does that even mean as a concept? It means that the way in which you connect with another person is by making eye contact. We know this. We learn this. We learn this as kids sometimes, right? Look people in the eyes when you're talking to them, right? It is about that connection point. That's why oftentimes in relationships, there's that whole staring at people across the room, right? Or stare deeply into your partner's eyes, whatever else it is. It is a connection point. That same connection point happens in your videos as well. And that is what we are talking about today. We're talking about how do you make eye contact in your videos when there's no person in front of you, right? It's that connection point with somebody that you can't even see. That is what you're going to learn today. I'm so excited. I can't even wait. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to make sure that you have the workbook. So if you do not have it, the link is up above to grab the workbook. And every morning, Tuesday, Thursday of the next 2 weeks, those workbooks will drop at 7 a.m. Mountain Time before our live session. I recommend that you have it. Today's workbook looks like this. It's got eyes on it, eye contact. The reason this is so important is we're going to kind of go through these step by step, and there's a place for you to jot down ideas, answers, things that you're learning. And actually, as we get into the 3-step model, it'll actually help you apply what it is that you're learning. Okay. So whether you have this printed or you want it digitally on a tablet or you just want it up on a secondary screen, any of that works. I just want to make sure that you have it. Okay. Now, let me check comments here quick. Hold on here. Look at this. Okay. Look. Everybody who answered my original question, which was, do you prefer live or pre-recorded? So we've got live. Look at that. Unanimous. So if you all prefer live video, your audience does too. Live video gets so much more reach, so much more engagement. We've talked about it in previous videos, so I don't want to go through all of the data again. But I know that sometimes pre-recorded can be safer. It feels safer. It feels less, oh, what if I mess up? But live video has so much more power. And that is what we are focused on throughout this entire challenge. So exciting. Okay. Now, let's go back to this eye contact for a second. The whole point of making eye contact in your videos is so that the person on the other end, the person who is watching your video, they feel like you are only talking to them. Because in essence, That's exactly what's happening. They're at home, on their sofa, in bed, on their phone, on their tablet, wherever. They're watching you. It feels very intimate. It feels like it's just the two of you. And part of that happens when you make eye contact with them. Now, I want to do just a very teeny tiny tangent here before we get into how to do that. Sometimes, if you are super nervous about showing up live, so back to the whole, I don't know, pre-recorded seems safer and it seems less scary and it seems less all of that. Oftentimes, what I find is that what we're worried about is all these people are going to see me. All these people are going to see my video. And that can be overwhelming and it can be scary in and of itself. So here's a quick tip. I don't want you to think about all the people. I want you to think about the one person you are making eye contact with. And I only want you to talk to them. I don't want you to worry about how many are actually there. Focus instead on you are talking to your perfect ideal client and you just talk to them. That's going to do two things. One, it's going to calm your nerves down because you're not talking to 20 people, 30 people, 100 people. You're just talking to one. But for that one person, they're going to feel way more connected to you. So it's got a double whammy on there. Okay. So don't worry about how many people are watching. You just talk to one person in your video. It makes a huge difference. Okay. Now, when you click the Go Live button, what is the first thing that pops up? Whether you do it on your phone or computer, what is it that you are seeing when you hit the Go Live button? You see yourself. And that's what makes this incredibly difficult, right? A number of you, as you joined this challenge or as you joined my Facebook group, you said, I don't like looking at myself. Oh, so when that live video comes up and it's you, oh my gosh, does that make it nerve-wracking? It makes you crazy sometimes. But it also does something else. Your brain says, ooh, there's a person right there. I want to talk to her. And so what happens is we often make eye contact with the person that we see on the screen. And that is not what I want you to do. What I want you to do is I want you to make eye contact with the camera lens. And the hard part is that camera lens is an inanimate object. It's also teeny tiny small. And it feels awkward to be looking at that instead of looking at the person who comes up on screen. So how the heck do you do this? How do you make this happen? How do you train your brain not to look down there, but to look up here? What I want to do is I want to show you what this looks like. Okay. So I don't know why it still says workbook up there. Sorry about that. You're wanting to be looking at the camera lens. Okay. So I want to show you what it looks like when you are not. Okay, so just be very, very clear. This is not, do not do this, okay? But I want you to understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so I feel like I need one of those action things so that you know this is a bad example. Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody. It is so great to have all of you on today. I hope you are super excited about the Go Live Challenge. This is going to be so much fun. You are going to learn so much. Okay, so right now, how does this feel to you as the viewer? Do you feel connected to me when I am making this eye contact? How does this feel? Most of the time, what I hear is it feels disconnected. And that's exactly it. But for me, as the speaker, it feels very connected because I'm looking at my face. I'm looking at myself. I'm making great eye contact with me on the screen. Versus if I say, hey, everybody, I'm so glad you're here. This is going to be so fun. You're going to learn so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you see the difference? Let me pull up some comments here. Yeah, Jeanette says it's like you're reading something and it is not connected. Lori says it feels like you are looking down at your notes. And even if it's not notes, it still feels like I'm looking down, right? Jeanette says major difference. Yes, I feel very disconnected. By the way, if you've not given StreamYard permission to see your name, then it shows up as Facebook user. If you want to change that, you can just open up another browser, go to streamyard.com/Facebook, click the button, and then your name will show up when I pull in comments like that. Very different vibe. Yes, very different vibe. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I've missed anything else that comes up. Okay, so now you get the gist here. Oops, got comments. Hold on here. Claudia says much better. Okay, so what the heck am I doing when this is happening? I'm looking at the camera lens, not at myself on the computer. That's the difference. Here are a couple of tricks that you can do to help yourself, okay? The first one is get a Post-it note. Just Post-it note, regular Post-it note. And I'm putting an arrow on my Post-it note. And what I can do, I'm going to show you on my phone because it's a little bit easier. I am going to line that arrow up with my camera lens on my phone so that I know where I'm looking. Because on your phone, it's really hard to see where that is. Sometimes, especially on an iPhone, it's not in the center. It's just slightly off. And this Post-it note does double duty. It covers my face. So I'm forced to not look at me on the camera or on the screen, and I'm forcing myself to look at that teeny tiny, I call it the black hole of death. Because it's a small inanimate object and it feels awful sometimes until you get used to it, okay? So this is one way that you can do this. Put the Post-it note on. This will be a game changer for many of you. Game changer, I'm telling you. Now, if you're using your computer, one Post-it note oftentimes doesn't cover enough of your face. So get out a white piece of paper. Cover your laptop. The cool thing is, whether you're using the Post-it note or the paper, you can put notes on here. Notes that remind you what it is that you want to be talking about so that you don't lose your place. So again, double win. Now, if you don't like the arrow, because let's face it, this is still an inanimate object. Okay? So the other thing you can do is you can make it be a face. Now, I don't necessarily recommend a Post-it note. What I often recommend is that you get a photo of someone. Maybe it is somebody in your life who's easy to talk to, who you're comfortable with. Maybe it's your spouse or your child or your dog or your mom or your best friend. Get their picture. Get a little picture, cut it out, print it out, and use it. Now what that does is you can even put a little arrow. See, I drew a little arrow on my face. I can still line that up so that I know where I'm looking. But now I'm talking to a face, a face of somebody who is comfortable for me to chat with. Another way that you can do this is to go and find a picture of someone on the internet or out of a magazine that looks like your perfect ideal client. What do you imagine they look like? Get that picture, print it out, put it right by your camera. That way, when you are making eye contact, I'm looking at the face of the person that I most closely associate with my perfect person, my singular one person that I'm talking to. If you don't like the photo idea, you can always get some sort of little object. Now, I just happen to have this in my desk. But it can be a troll doll. It can be an actual doll. It can be anything. Sometimes having an actual item, an object, makes it a little bit easier than something that's just paper. You've got to figure out what works for you in making sure that you are making eye contact in the right place. Okay, so I want to know, which of these are you going to do? Which are you going to try first? Are you going to try the arrow? Are you going to try the photo? Or are you going to try some sort of object? Drop some comments and let me know what you're going to do. While I'm waiting on those answers to come in, I want to give you one other little teeny tiny tip. If you are using your phone, there's Otis, by the way. If you are using your phone and your Post-it note does not stick, this can be disastrous. Don't ask me how I know this, but I know. What happens is, let's say you've got actual notes written on here that are reminding you what you're going to talk about. Let me give you an example here. So here's my question about, are you going to live or pre-recorded? Which do you prefer? So if all of a sudden that little guy goes in the middle of my live, now my Post-it note's on the floor, it's not good. Now I'm panicked because my note just went flying. Okay, so two things you want to do. Number one, Post-it notes. Oops. Post-it note brand sticks better. I know the knockoffs are cheaper. I get it. But the glue, the sticky part is not not as superior. So spend the extra money, get actual Post-it note brands. No, I do not make any money from 3M from Post-it note by doing this. I should, but I do not. The other thing that will happen is, I don't know if you can see this. Let's see here. Oops, turn that off. You don't need to see Otis again. Can you see how dirty my phone is? There we go. There's some dirt. See how dirty and slimy my phone is? My phone's dirty. There's oil on my phone from my face. And that makes things not stick. Okay. So if you're going to be going live on your phone, if you're going to be using Post-it notes, clean it. Not this. This doesn't work. Actually get some electronic cleaner, whether it's the wipes or the spray, and clean your phone so that your Post-it notes stick. Okay. All right. So my question to all of you was, which are you going to try? The arrow, the photo, or the object? So let's see what we've got here. Okay. So Lori's going to try the arrow. 2 arrows by the camera, like this kind of a thing. Look here. I love it. I love it. Arrow. Nadia says the arrow. Okay. Photo, maybe. Joanne says, I already have a photo of my ideal client, so I would use it. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Thinking about this. Amanda says her webcam is at the top of the screen. I'm already talking to my elf. I need an elf to stick on top of my screen. That's what you can do, right? You can get, if this was a bigger character, you could tape it or stick it right on top. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. You got it. You guys are kicking me. You're killing me here. I love it. I love it. You all make me laugh so hard. Okay. Any questions about Post-it notes, photos, stickies, papers, anything that you're going to do to drive your attention to the right place? Let me know if you got questions. Drop them in the comments. I'll certainly come back and answer them if I don't see them here before we get moving forward. Okay. Now, oftentimes the question that I get is, how do I make this feel more natural? Because it doesn't feel natural to look up here at the camera. This feels more natural down here. I'm hoping that this demonstration makes you see how unnatural that feels to your perfect client. So sometimes just knowing that, yeah, it feels awkward or uncomfortable for you, but it's better for them. Like, okay, maybe we put up with it a little bit. The more you do it, the easier it gets, I promise. Going live and doing everything that you're going to learn inside this challenge, it takes practice. It takes applying what you're going to learn. One of the things I talk about a lot is a 3-step process to getting better at things. Start, suck, get better. Oftentimes we don't start because we don't want to suck. And oftentimes when we suck, we give up because it's hard and you are like, I'm never going to get this. When getting better is right around the corner. So what I would tell you is keep practicing. It does get easier. Do I still need reminders? Yes. I don't necessarily need the arrow anymore, but I still have to cover my face on the screen or I'm going to look at it. It's just human nature. Our brains go, ooh, there's a person down there. That'd be way more fun to look at than this black hole of death. So that's one way that you can make it natural. Here's the other. Do not stare at that camera. Imagine if I did this live and I was like, do not break eye contact. All right, everybody, welcome to the challenge. I'm so glad you're here. You are going to learn so much. And here's number 1 is this. And it's too creepy. It's too much. You want to be more natural with it. So what I want you to think about is this camera is home base. It's home base. That doesn't mean that you can't look around and you can't look at your notes and you can't come over here. It just means you spend more time here than you do anywhere else. Okay. So when we think, we often, do this or I don't know. Let me think about that. It's natural. So be natural on camera. Look at your notes. Look out the window, but come back to home base. Spend more time here than anywhere else. Okay. Oftentimes I will hear from people and they'll be like, I didn't make good enough eye contact. And I'll go watch and I'm like, no, it was all right. It's okay to look around. That's more natural. When you are having coffee with a friend, you don't stare at them the entire time and never break eye contact, right? It's just more natural, more conversation. You flow. That's what you're going to do on camera too. Again, it takes practice. And I know it's hard, but you can get there. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Okay, let me see what we got for comments and questions. Hang on here. Okay. Why do we see some people looking away? Okay, there's 2 things that are coming up here, Joanne. One is they've never learned. They've never learned to make eye contact here. The other is that oftentimes, especially people who are introverts, the thinking part We look up and to the right. It's a thing, right? Sometimes that eye contact is uncomfortable. And so because it's uncomfortable, we go, oh, I'm not going to do this. That's hard. And it just takes practice. Okay. So that's the best answer I can give you on why I look away. Here's what's going to happen. You're now going to notice this like all the time. I have officially ruined videos for you for the rest of your life, because now what's going to happen is every video you're going to watch, you're going to see it. And here's what's important. Your perfect ideal client is not sitting there on the other end unless they've been through this challenge. They're not sitting on this other end going, she's not making eye contact with me. They don't think that. That's not a conscious thought. The conscious thought is, I don't know, I didn't vibe with her. I don't know. I don't see what you see. I don't know that I like her as much as you do, because the connection isn't happening. That's what's most important. Okay. You like my staring? Don't break eye contact, right? Don't blink. It's too much. So be more natural, be more comfortable. Y'all like my creepiness. I love it. Crazy Eddie. Okay. I love this. Jeanette says, I look forward to sucking until I'm natural. Yep. We all do. All right. Let's move on, shall we? This one is another part of being more natural. And somebody commented on this. I can't remember who it was in one of the opening posts or the pre-work posts about I don't look happy. I look sad, or I look upset, or I look frustrated. So let me show you the difference. Okay. So if I am, do I look mad? I'm not mad. I'm just neutral. But it looks mad or upset or sad, versus a little bit of a smile. Now, it doesn't have to even be a teethy smile. Do you see the difference? What's often difficult is like, do I have to hold this smile throughout the entire live? No, that would be also creepy. Hello, everyone. It's so good to have you here. Too creepy, right? So most important, smile at the beginning and smile at the end. First and last impressions mean the lot. Okay. And if you can remember to smile every once in a while in between, even better. If you need a Post-it note that reminds you to smile, whether it's a picture or the word smile, also a great tip if you need that. Okay. But smiling makes us seem approachable, makes us seem friendly, it makes us seem happy. Even if you're talking about serious stuff, you might not be, but you at least a little bit, going to make a big difference at being more natural. It also helps you feel better. Try it this week while you are practicing videos. Try doing your video with a smile and try doing a video without the smile and feel the difference in your own body. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's any questions come in. Y'all think I'm funny. Harsh. That was the word. That's the word I was looking at. Harsh, right? The other thing that often comes up is when we are thinking, when we're trying to remember, what was I going to talk about next? And what was I going to say? And what should I say? And what do I want to talk about? We can often get a look like this. Trying to remember what was I thinking about? And we aren't aware that we have, I like to call it resting Grinch face, like the Grinch from, the Grinch, Christmas Grinch. That I can say that word and not offend anybody. So resting Grinch face is a real thing. Try and smile. It could be, Claudia. You just never know. It could be. It could be. Okay. Yes, I've been told I look mad, but it's usually intense as I'm checking lighting. Okay, this one is important. I want to call this one out too. What happens before you go live is, oh my gosh, I got all this to do. I gotta set up on my live. I gotta get my words in. I gotta get my lighting right. I gotta get my camera right. I gotta get my notes right. I gotta get all my stuff right. And I'm all worked up. And I'm thinking about all these things, and I got this look on my face like this. And then I hit go live, and I'm like already in this face. That's a first impression. Your very first people are going to have is this. It's not a good look. Okay. So what you can do is just take a beat. Get everything set up. Have your lighting right. Have your video right. Have your notes right. Have all of the things. And then just take a minute and be like, maybe some deep breaths. Maybe light a candle. Maybe you got essential oils. Normally I have essential oils right here. Maybe you got some essential oils, some deep breaths, maybe some stretching, whatever you got to do to be like, okay, now I'm ready. Put that smile on your face, then hit the button. You control when you hit that go live button. Okay? Yes, this is what it's normally referred to, but I like to say resting Grinch face because it's funnier. Okay, you got it? What questions do you have about making eye contact, all the different ways that you can make eye contact, why it's so important, and how to make it feel natural? Any questions? Okay. Your homework. And by the way, I've got a few more things that I want to touch on. So I tried to get this first part early into the video so that those of you that are tight on time, you get exactly what you need up front. Okay. So I'm going to talk about what is your homework? What are you going to go do? And then we're going to get into the 3-step model a little bit. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the obstacles that are coming on and answer any questions you have. So I'll probably be on for a full hour, but if you've got to go, this is a great time to at least sit through this part. Okay. So your homework, if you will, is to go live inside this Get On Camera group. You're going to go live in here. Your target is 3 minutes. And we talked about this in the kickoff call. That may either seem excruciatingly long, or you might be like, 3 minutes, I'm going to talk for 30. Longest ever was I had somebody do a whole complete yoga workout in a challenge. It was 45 minutes long. It, but not the point here, right? The point of doing this is to practice eye contact. So the topic prompt for today is posted now in the group. I'll tell you what it is since you're all with me live. It is to introduce yourself and share a fun fact. So tell us who you are, talk about your business, and share something fun that we can connect with you on. Now I know what you're thinking. I already shared that. I shared that before. I shared that in a post. Yep. That's why this should be super easy for you. You already know what that fun fact is. You already know how you're going to introduce yourself or your business. It's not about that. It is about practicing the eye contact. It is about making sure that you have your Post-it notes or your stickies or whatever you're using and practicing the eye contact when you do it. Okay? All right. 3 minutes is your goal. The question I often get at this point is, do I have to do it today? No, you don't have to do it today. But you are likely want to make sure that you get all 4 lives done by the end of day Sunday, the 21st. Okay. So we're going to do live trainings just like this. Tuesday, Thursday of this week, Tuesday, Thursday of next week. You want to go live all 4 times, practicing what you're learning in each of those live sessions. So I wouldn't wait and do all of them on Sunday, but if you want to, you can. But if you go live all 4 times, several things are going to happen. First, you're going to be enrolled in a drawing, and there will be a spinny prize wheel, and somebody's going to win access to the Go Live League for 3 months. In addition, you get to join the Go Live League, which is my video membership, for either your first month is $1 or you get 3 months free if you pay for the year. You get that discount if you do all 4 of your lives. And probably more important, you get the satisfaction of saying, I flipping did this. I did this. I went live all 4 times. It wasn't as bad as I thought. Okay, so that's your goal. That's your objective. Okay. Any questions about that? You let me know. Those of you who are VIPs for this challenge, you pay $27 to get VIP access. You will get an extra video today talking about camera angles. I want to remind all of you, you don't have to watch that today if you're already like, okay, I got enough. Just the eye contact alone is enough. Just focus on that. This camera angle video will be available to you afterwards if you want to do it then. It's your choice. Okay. If anybody's wanting to join VIP and get access to that, let me know and I'll get you the link. Actually, I think I put it up above if you're interested. Okay. Any questions before I move on to the 3-step model? Everybody good? You having fun? You learning stuff? Can't wait to apply it. I hope so. All right. Let's talk next about this 3-step model. We're going to spend the next 3 live sessions. This Thursday will be the first one, and the next week, Tuesday, Thursday, covering a 3-step process. And the 3-step process is this: hook, story, call to action. Hook, story, call to action. Okay. Your hook is how you grab attention from your viewers and you get them to want to watch your video. That's the hook. It's the bait that you dangle in front of your viewers to say, oh, yes, I want to watch this video. That's your hook. Your story is what keeps them watching. Stories are a powerful way to keep your viewers watching longer. We're going to talk all about stories on Thursday and why it's so powerful. Okay? Hook, story, and then the last is call to action. This is the action you want them to take as a result of watching this video. And we'll talk about why that is so super important. Okay? So this is the bulk, the guts, if you will, of this challenge and what we're going to spend time on the rest of it. Okay? Okay. Now, the other thing that I'm going to be doing inside of this challenge is I'm going to be obliterating obstacles. What the heck am I talking about? So when you joined the Facebook group, you shared a video challenge, and there were some really amazing things that you all shared. And so I thought, you know what would be really cool is let's get through some of those obstacles, because if one person's struggling with it, chances are other people are struggling with it. And part of my mission in my business is to help remove those obstacles. I want you to be fantastic. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be confident. I want you to be like, I got this live video stuff. But if there's an obstacle in your way, I want to get it out. So I've created a post in the group where you can vote for which obstacle you want me to cover. And I'm going to try and do 2 every week. I'll probably do it on Wednesday and on Friday of each week. So right now, the link is up above this video if you want to go and vote, or if you want to add your own to it. Right now, the obstacles with the leading votes are: I stumble, stammer, I lose my words, I look bad, imposter syndrome, and I don't have any energy. So those will be the ones that I'm going to focus on. If you want to influence that, go and vote. Okay. What I want to touch on today is one of the ones that didn't get a whole lot of votes, but I think it's important, especially as we're getting started and we're talking about going live. And that is, what do I do about my background? My background is a mess, or my space is a mess. And so what the heck do I do back here? Okay. So I want to give you some of those tips right now, and then we will wrap up today's training. Okay. The most important thing I can tell you is that one of the cool things about using your phone or your laptop is that you can move them. You can go somewhere else where you don't have a messy background. You can go to your car. You can go to the kitchen. You can go to a blank wall. You can move things around. Your objective in your background is to not create distraction. It's not about it has to be professional. It has to look a certain way. No, it just needs to be clean. What you want is for somebody to be focused on you and what you're saying, your message, and not on what's going on back here, right? So if somebody's background is messy, I'm going to be like, what's she got going on over there? Like, oh, you know what I see over here? I see she's got an essential oil thing going on. I wonder what oil that is. Now I'm focusing on that oil and I'm not paying attention to Jamie. It's a distraction. So if this is messy, I'm distracted. It might not even be a conscious distraction like I just showed you. It could just be, oh, it's a lot. There's a lot to look at. I don't know where to look. And because I don't know where to look, I'm just going to scroll right on by. That's not what you want. You want them to focus on you. So how do you clean up a background? Move. That's one option. The other is to just clean it up. I know that you may not believe me, but I have a basket on the floor right below here. You can't see it because it's off camera. And before I go live, I just go over there and anything garbage, I just swap in my bucket. I'm just cleaning off that table, putting it in my bucket, and it sits on the floor. And then I either clean that up or I put it back later. Just clear out what's back there. Okay. Think about if you're in your office, can you move your camera and be in a different space that maybe isn't as noisy or busy or distracting? Other things you can do is get a room divider. They're not terribly expensive. Go to even Goodwill or Walmart, and they'll have just room dividers, like the little things, and you can set it up behind you. You can even find screens that you can set up that have images that you can put behind you if that will help you. So you've got lots of options. It just depends on how much time and energy and money you want to spend to clean up that background. But what I want you to make sure that you get is it does not have to be, bookshelves with pretty things and books and all of that. It just needs to be clean. Just clean it up. That's all you got to do. Okay. Any questions about backgrounds before I move on, or any questions on anything rather? Hold on here. Boop, boop, doop. Let me go to comments and see what y'all are saying. Okay, hold on here. Okay, so Amanda's asking about VIP. Forgot to upgrade. Yes, you can still upgrade. The link is up above. That's for VIP. I'm glad you're having fun. Awesome. I just answered her question. Fantastic. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. So let me wrap us up today. Okay, if you are brand new to going live, if you've never gone live before, I would definitely encourage you to go and watch the video and download these step-by-step instructions for how to do that. It walks you step by step, exactly what you click. Those of you that are like, oh my gosh, the tech is scary, you definitely want to go print that out, have it in front of you. There's a video for using your computer and there's a video for using your phone. Okay. It will definitely help you get started. Each video is well under 10 minutes. I think you can probably watch both videos in 10 minutes. There's also a video on managing your nerves. So if you're sweating, if you're hot, if your heart's pounding, if you're shaking, managing your nerves, if your stomach's upset, is another great video and workbook that you may want to watch before we get started. Okay. If you can't find those links, let me know and I'm happy to send them. Just message me or drop a comment below and say, I need the links and I'll get it to you. Okay. Okay. Let me remind you again, your action item is to go live in this group, introduce yourself, share a fun fact so we connect with you, and make eye contact. It's important for you to understand that this is a safe place. Nobody's going to judge. Nobody's going to make fun of you. You're probably going to be your harshest critic. Everybody in here is going to cheer you on and support you and applaud you and comment and be here for you. That is what is so powerful about doing this in this community, because it's a great group of people. You all are awesome. And I know you have everybody's best interest at heart. So if you're nervous, this is the perfect place to practice, because we're all here to cheer you on and support you. That's the objective. Okay. All right. I see some questions coming in. Let me make sure I get them and then I'll wrap us up. So much good information. Yes, I agree. Should you use a tripod? Okay. That's a really good question, Claudia. If you're using your phone, okay, if you're using your phone, what's going to happen is, especially if you're nervous, and what's going to happen with your video is everything's going to be moving and shaking. Even if you're not nervous, boy, you hold that phone out there. You hold that out long enough, that arm's going to get tired and it's going to start dropping, and then your video is going to be impacted. That is the whole point of a tripod or a selfie stick. The one I like to recommend is one that has both. Okay, so it's got the scope. I can use it as a selfie stick. I also can use it as a tripod. One device, it's all compact, fits in your purse. Okay, other things to look for as you're considering a tripod, make sure that you can adjust the part where your phone goes. Because oftentimes if it's just straight up and down, you can't quite get the angle right. So you want this to be adjustable. Okay. If you do not have one of these doohickeys, these are like, I don't know, $10 or $15 US. That's how they're not very expensive. Okay. You can just prop your phone up on something. Get some books, get a bowl from the kitchen, make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Just prop it up so that you can be hands-free and you don't have any of that quivering. Really good question, Claudia. Amanda says the nerves video is brilliant. Thank you. I'm so glad. Okay. So Jeanette says, when I do my live, look at my background, it's too busy. Okay. This is I want to say this out to everybody, not just to me. If you want feedback on your video as you're going live, like Jeanette just said, make sure that it's in the comments, or make sure you put it in the description. Will you look at my background? Will you check this out? Will you check this out? And we'll all give you feedback. Right? You don't just want my opinion, you want other people's opinions. But yes, Jeanette, I will, for sure. Okay, let's see here what else we got. No, no tequila. No tequila. Virtual backgrounds. What is my take on virtual backgrounds? I have curly hair. I don't know if anybody else has curly hair, but they do not work. They do not work with curly hair. You look like you got a halo. It just looks so fakey and horrible that it's just like, oi, oi, oi. And so it is challenging for those of us with curly hair. I think sometimes we want that virtual background because we want the cool pictures of, like, you're up on a, 100-story building with a view of New York, and it's just amazing. But that's not you. That's not you. That's not who you are. So I'm a big fan of, I want you to be you. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to show up as you. That's way more important than giving this appearance of something that you're not. Okay. Now, if the virtual background is seriously to hide what's going on back here and there's no other way you can hide it, then this is a great choice. It's a great option. But I will call this out, specifically those virtual backgrounds you're talking about in Zoom. As of the 22nd of April, you're not going to be able to stream into Facebook as easily as you have been up to this point. It's changes that Facebook is making. I'm there, and honestly, Zoom is still making changes. I have a video for you with step-by-step instructions to show you how to do it the new way. I'll have it ready and available before the 22nd, but I just want to call that out so nobody goes off and says, "Ooh, I need to get my virtual background set up." Nope, it's going to get all complicated. So don't go too crazy with that. Okay. I don't think they're bad. I think some of them are really cool, but I would still say if you're picking a virtual background, pick one that's you. Don't pick one that just looks professional, but it's not you. More important to be you. Okay. I don't know if that answered your question, but let me know if it didn't. First video is to introduce yourself, and fun fact, no story, no call to action on your first video, Ben. Nope. Don't worry about the rest of the model. All I want you to worry about is eye contact. What you're talking about is introducing yourself. You shouldn't even have to think about this. Introduce yourself. Who are you? What's your business? Tell us something interesting about yourself. The objective for this first one is make sure that you are applying whatever you're going to do to make sure that you look and make great eye contact. That's your objective. Okay, let's see here. I use a magnetic thing for my phone. It moves to follow my face. There you go. That's options. There are all sorts of options that you have. This is a flip stick. It's sticky. That's sticky. I can stick that on a refrigerator. I can stick that on a microwave. It doesn't always work on a wall because it's too textury, but these are only like $15. So that's another option instead of a stick if you don't want. Okay. Yes, I will share my tripod link. Yes, I'll make a note so I don't lose it. I'll share the sticky thing too. Okay, hold on. If I don't write this down, I will forget. Or what happens, I don't know if this happens to the rest of you, is I write a Post-it note and then I have no idea what I meant. You tell me I'm not alone in that, right? You find the Post-it note and you're like, okay, I know I'm supposed to do something with this, but I don't know what I meant when I wrote this. It's okay. All right. Halo. Yes, the virtual background creates the halo for sure. I would highly recommend purchasing some of this stuff through Amazon because you can return it if it doesn't work, right? So if you go and you buy a tripod and it doesn't work for you, you can always return it and get something else. That's why I love Amazon so much, or any place that allows returns. One other thing on the tripod, you really want one that has a spot for your remote in case you're using it for selfies. Otherwise, and even with this, I've lost my remote. I don't know where my remote is. It's gone. So another little quick thing to look for. Okay. I use a virtual background, and if my dog jumps, it looks like he's coming out of the seat. Yeah, there's some funny stuff that happens, and you either love it and it makes it's entertaining, or it drives you crazy. But yeah, there's pros and cons. Like anything, there's pros and cons. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone on the sticky notes. Thank you. All right, I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to wrap us up here for today. The whole point of making eye contact is to connect with your ideal perfect person. And so everything that you can do to make sure that your eye contact is right on and that you feel like you're only talking to that one person, they're going to feel it. They may not consciously know it, but they're going to feel way more connected to you. And that's what we're all about today. Like I said earlier, you're going to now notice this, and I'm sorry I've ruined videos, but now as you're watching all sorts of other videos, even your favorite people, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, they're not making eye contact. So I'm so sorry I've ruined this for you. But what I want you to notice is the difference that it makes. The difference it makes in you as the viewer now that you know what's happening. So that you recognize that that's the same feeling your perfect ideal client has when you're not doing it. It is honestly, of everything that I do inside this challenge, you're going to love learning the hook, the story, the call to action. You are. But what everybody says is this one right here, this is a big one. This is the one that makes the biggest difference because there is a connection between you and your ideal client. And that's what we want. That's the whole point, is for them to feel connected to you. Because when they feel connected to you, that starts to build that know, like, and trust. And that's when people want more from you. That's when they start to binge watch your videos. That's when they tell their friends about your group. That's when they want to start purchasing the things that you have, because it all starts with this connection point. All right. Remember to have fun as you practice this. Even if it is hard and challenging, it will get better the more and more you practice. So remember to have fun. All right, guys. See ya. Bye.